Welcome. This is my Christmas present for you. I actually have quite a lot of stuff to do, but I'll take the time to look at the charts and see if we get a Christmas present out of Bitcoin. The last time I looked at them, it could be the case. Today, I'm going to talk into introduction about Oglio Gold, and then I'll transit into the Bitcoin charts and my TA stuff. So regarding Oglio Gold, Oglio Gold is one of the only traders I know of who I think is net positive in the market. I think he's one of the only persons who makes money. I don't know most of the time, not always, but most of the time. I don't know exactly how he does it. He talks about money management a lot, and that can be the case. Yes, you can with money management make some money in the markets, but it should not be the amount he's talking about, because that can only be achieved by predicting the price. If it goes up or down, it cannot. I don't think it can just be achieved by money management. So he doesn't talk much about about TA, about his price analysis, but he talks a lot of money management. He focuses on the money management. Anyways, I'm talking about Oglio Gold because he was replying to one. I was replying to one of his tweets with a comment, and then he replied to me, and we ended up talking about a resource-based economy. So I told him that if he's interested, we could talk about it during a live stream, but he declined. Why? Because he thinks that a resource-based economy is a philosophy. So I've heard a lot about a resource-based economy. The haters and the people who don't think it can work call it an utopia. They call it communism and so on. But I've never heard that it's a philosophy. So that was quite funny. And okay, if you listen to what I'm saying, everything is a philosophy. Even your sound and money stuff is a philosophy. So yes, under that angle, resource-based economy, capitalism, communism, fascism, everything is a philosophy. But we should not stop with words. We should look at the thing as it is and ask ourselves, without any preconception, if it can work or not, and what needs to happen for it to work. So anyways, he's not interested in a resource-based economy. He wants no alternative to capitalism. He loves capitalism, even if capitalism did put him into prison. And ugly. Under a resource-based economy, there are no prisons. Okay, you would never go into in prison under a resource-based economy. And here's funny. Look, I'm not scared about talking to somebody who I even admire, Oglio Gold, and he is a criminal. He went to prison. I've lived through a lot of stuff in my life, but never prison. I know what a lot of money is. I know how the most rich people on earth live. I was one of them, and I know what extreme poverty is. So I've known nearly everything apart prison. I was never condemned to go into prison. So that would be interesting. I would like to talk about that with Oglio Gold. But he's more scared about me talking about something to him that is out of the box than I am talking to a criminal. It's quite funny, isn't it? It's quite ironic. Anyways, I don't want to keep on talking about that because it does not really matter. I don't think you're that interested. And if Oakley does not want to talk with me about the Bitcoin price or a research-based academy, that's up to him. So there's nothing I can do about that. It does not change anything for me. I'm not bigger or smaller. I don't. It's just indifferent to me. It is indifferent. I think he's an interesting man, so I would have liked to talk to him, but if he declines, that's all right. Now that's more than enough about Oakley. Let's go into the chart and see if Bitcoin is preparing for us a Christmas present. If nothing has changed during the last hour, this should still be possible. But I'm going to take a look at the charts and we'll find out together. So here you have my disclaimer. As always, I invite you to read it. The same in French and in German. You'll find the link in my description, as always. And now let's jump into the price. So the Christmas present is still possible, and I'll tell you why. The big picture hasn't changed at all since my last intervention, because that takes a lot of time to change. And according to me, we have a wave 1. We could be still in the correction of wave 2, or it could be over, and we should start wave 3. And that's bullish, according to me. Now you have the same thing on the weekly chart, and if we are lucky, that was the bottom, the end of the C wave. I told you a lot of times when it's more than an A, B, C, okay? It is a complex correction, and it is nearly impossible to say where that correction will stop. But as you can see, we have spent now quite a lot of time, because if I show you the chart, we have spent a lot of time, nearly twice as much of time correcting than rising. And since that is the case, we should be coming to an end of the corrective phase. That's at least what I'm expecting. Here you have the 2-day chart, and one of the counts that could be possible, it is more than a simple correction. So with a complex correction, I can never say it with any certitude, and I don't think anyone can. I've read books about it saying that it's impossible. So I don't believe you can say to the dollar where a complex correction ends. If it's a simple correction, you can, but not if it's a complex correction. And this one is very complex. It is very long, and it is quite steep too, which is surprising. Normally, Bitcoin takes less time correcting. Anyways, it could be a W, X, Y, X, Z, and then we would have a new impulse wave. Since that was the first wave, as I told you, this is wave 2, and that would be wave 3. Here, I have one possibility. I'm not saying that that will happen, but it could be possible, because it is quite common to have a zigzag, then an irregular, and then a flat. So if this was a zigzag, which it was, then this an irregular, it was, but B did not go higher than X, which is unusual. It could invalidate this being an irregular. And then you get a flat. And every time in between, you have a linker. So anyways, if we get a flat, we could still be in the correction for quite some time, for too much time. So I'm not sure that that will happen, but I still have it because for now, this scenario has not been invalidated in my mind. And now we get into the interesting stuff. This could be the bottom, the end of the wave C. And then you have an impulse wave that which starts, and you get 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. Now, the thing is that if that is 1, in wave 1, this is wave 2, with an A, B, C. Now you get wave 3. And wave 3 is the most impulsive wave of them all. It's the one that goes the highest and the farthest of the 3 waves. It is normally the extended one. So if that is wave 3, then what you're looking at could be the start of wave, yeah, if that's wave 3, then what you're looking at is, I'll show it to you, is wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there you get a 5. Now I have to put the 3 up here. The 4, I can put it here, and I have to move the 5. Okay, now let's put the smaller wave count into a different color. There you go. So then this would be a 1, 2, and that is then a 3 out of a 3 out of a 3, and that would be the most impulsive wave of them all. So price could easily jump $2,000 right now. How do I know that that is the case and that my count is not invalidated? As long as we don't go lower than 7,124.52. As long price stays above that line, this count is correct, because wave 1, wave 2 can retrade up to 99%, but not 100% of wave 1. So you cannot have, at least you cannot have 101% retracement. So you cannot stop wave 2 here. If that's the case, it would be still corrective. So as long as we are above this, there's a possibility that that is wave 3 out of 3. As you can see, that's wave 3. Actually, it would be more, it would be quite going quite high. So if that's wave 3 out of 3, since this is 2 and 3, as you can see in green, then it would be a very strong, and as I showed you before on the monthly chart, it's also a wave 3. So it's a 3 out of 3 out of 3, and that's the most impulsive setup you get. So price could easily jump $1,000 or $2,000 on that simple wave. And it would be a confirmation that the correction is over. So we have to see. We have to see. If we go below 7,122.52, there's still a possibility that that was the bottom, as long as we did not go below that. But because I could still say that we are in a wave 2, which means that wave 2 will stop some, I can't believe it, that wave 2 will stop somewhere around here or here. That can be possible, and that we are into a very complex correction, but I don't believe it. So I don't think that that's likely. But anyways, you get the first indication that we are corrective, still corrective, and that it's not an impulse wave. If we go lower than 7,124.52, and if we take out 6,425, then it's one more confirmation that we are still corrective. If you remember, a lot of traders, including myself, believed that that was the bottom, and that we started at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a wave 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they believe the same thing that I'm talking about now here. I did too. Huh? So, but then this wave took out that one. So as I can show you, I can put the line back. I took it off because it's not useful anymore. When this wave went below that one, it was clear that we are still corrective. And now the question, and I actually did expect price to drop even more. When we did take out 6,550, I did expect price to drop even more, but it stopped at 6,425. So is that bullish or bearish that it stopped so soon when I did expect it to go lower? It is, I would say, it's surprising. So it's quite bullish. But now the question is, did we start an impulse wave or not? And the only way to tell is to see what happens. And see if my scenario plays out or does not. As you know, I should load a new chart and show you on a new chart. Or I can put it on this one, but then it will be a bit, then there will be a lot on the same chart. Anyways, let's put it. So Hai-Jen Lee thinks that this is a 1, and A, B, C, I think that's his count. Let's change color for you guys. So he thinks that it's an A, B, C, and then that we get an corrective down move. I think you get the idea. It can be even much lower than that. Okay, so he thinks that something like this will happen, and that could be the case. I cannot exclude it entirely, but it is my less favorable alternative count, because, well, because I think the correction was long. It was long and deep, and there must be a moment in time where it stops and you get something impulsive. So if this is still an ABC and you get then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down, it would be just extremely long, and I think that's the less likely alternative count. So as long as we are above 7,125.52, I think that the chance that it is an impulse wave is quite high. If we break below it, but we manage to hold 6,425, then it still could be impulsive. It's just taking a very long time and not as clear and impulsive that I actually would like it to be, but it could be the case. If we go below 6,425, it is clear that we are not in an impulse wave, and then price should actually drop a bit, could drop to much lower. So it is important, now it is important to hold that level, and then this one. If we don't, there's no telling where it will stop. Well, actually there is. Wave 2 can go as far as the beginning of wave 1. And okay, wave 1 was here, and wave 2 can go as far as the beginning of wave 1. So now I've put it here. I don't want to move it, but as you can see, it can go as far as, I think that this one is at 3,585.40. So it can go as far as 3,585.40, if that is the beginning of wave one. And either this is the beginning of the wave one or down here. It also could be that this is the beginning of wave one. So let's put a line in. If this is the beginning of wave one, it could go as low as 3,122.28. As long as we hold 3,122.28, to me, it is still impulsive. And I don't see this as being an ABC, because if you put it as an ABC, that's extremely important, huh? What I'm talking about right now. If you could put it as an ABC, wherever you like, A, B, and then C, okay. This should be a three wave, because wave P is always a three wave, and you clearly see 5 waves. So to me, that's not a B wave, but an impulsive wave. So I think that it is the probability that we hold 3,585.40 or 3,122.28 is extremely high. I would give it 80 to 90%. I would give it a 90% probability that it is high. It would be extremely surprising to me if you make new lows and this is still corrective. To me, that looks like an impulse wave, and I don't think that we are in a bear market anymore. Okay, that was the important stuff. That's everything that counts for me. The rest is fun to watch, but not so important to me. So if you want to stop the video here, you can. If you're interested in looking at some other indicators, I'll go over them quickly and tell you if I think it's bullish or bearish, if it's positive or negative. Let's start. Here you have a stock to flow model, and the stock to flow model should rise drastically. I don't know, I think that's an anomaly, because here this stock to flow model is jumping too high right now. So this is an anomaly. But as you can see, always after the halving, stock to flow jumped a lot. So I'm expecting the same this time around. Here again, you have a halving, you have a stock to flow, and this one looks better. This indicator looks better because it, but it starts to rise, and that's positive for price. So stock to flow to me is positive. And I've put some trend lines in here that could hold the stock to flow model. So that was the last one. The first one, let's change color. The first one hold in the last bull market, and it started during the halving. And now I've put a parallel line in, and it seems to hold also. So I think that price could hold above that line until the end of the bull market, in which we are, according to me. Here we have T sequential. Now it's looking less good, but before that you had a 2 trading higher than a 1, and that was an indication to go long, which was positive. But now you have a flip in color. You have a red one, but that can still change before the end of the week. Here you have some moving averages, and you did get a dev cross here, and you will soon get a new dev cross. That is the exponential moving average. And if you look at the simple moving average, it is even worse. So this is looking not good at all, because you had a dev cross here and price fall afterwards, and now you have a dev cross again. And you should expect, and price is right where the price are. So you should expect, according to this, you should expect price to fall even more. So that is clearly negative and quite alarming. This is an indicator. Dollar cost averaging here was the best moment to buy. If you did, well done. If you did not, you are very close to that level and you should go long now. Once that happens, as you can see, price afterwards pick up during the entire, here that was the last time it happened, and afterwards you had a bull market. And before that, well, my charts are not showing, not giving me any data, so let's forget that. But it's the same thing before in the last bull market. You only get the green indication in the bottom. That's the best place to buy, and then you get what happened. Yes, thanks. And then you get a bull market. So I'm expecting the same thing to happen this time. Here you should have gone long, and now we should be in a bull market. I know why actually price is not updating, because this chart is still giving you the wrong data. So I'll reload it and then we move on. Let's reload it so you can see the updated price. And then look at the next indicator. Technical issues, there's nothing I can do about that. It still sucks 2019. Every time I have to restart my computer, every time I get those bugs, I'm quite frustrated, but there's nothing I can do about that. That's just how things are nowadays. Well, anyways, let's move on. My internet, my browser stopped working and I had to restart all my computer because it wouldn't shut down. It is never ending. And I lose a lot of time because it takes quite some time to put the charts back up together, to show them to you and to look at them most of the time, because I don't make too much market update videos. But anyways, so I told you here you should have gone long, and now I think that we are in a bull market. Normally you don't get a second occasion to buy the bottom. So I expect price to rise from here on. And that's positive. This one is still negative. Here you had a death cross and no golden cross for now. So that's still negative. This one is also negative, but I mean, if price keep rising, you get a golden cross, and that would be great, because when you get a golden cross like here, price could rise for a long time. Just as that was wave 1, and this could be wave 3, and wave 3 should be even steeper and longer than wave 1. So if that was wave 1, the next time you get a cross, you should go much higher. We can easily take out 20K. Here you are positive on that chart since you had a golden cross, and that's great. Let's hope it stays that way. Anyways, one more chart that is not updated, so let's update the chart. Sorry for that inconvenience, but there's nothing I can do. There's really nothing I can do about that. I have fiber optics and do my best to show you those charts. I have a lot of tabs open and it takes quite some memory to make that run on my computer. But TradingView sometimes messes it up and it does not actualizes. Anyways, it's the same thing here. With the updated price, you have the golden cross here, and we are still looking good right now. So this is positive. Here we are positive too, but the same thing, price aren't updating. I think that we won't get all the charts not updated. It should not be that frequent. There should be some exceptions. Maybe that's the last one. I hope. Because it makes everything much longer. And I don't want this intervention to be too long. I don't think that you're interested if it takes 2 hours, and I don't want to waste 2 hours. So as you can see here, you have the golden cross, and we are still positive. This one is up to date, and we are here still negative. Let's hope that we get a golden cross soon. Momentum is looking much better. If we start rising from here, it will be positive very soon. This one is positive because we are above that moving average, but it hasn't turned green. So we still need price to go a little higher. So in order for it to go green and be totally positive, but it is still slightly positive. Here on the COPEC, we are positive on the first one. We are positive on this one since we are above that moving average. And that one has not turned positive for now. And this one is flat. So it is not positive for now. But the first one is positive already. Here we are still negative. Would be nice if we go through the middle Bollinger Band, then it would be positive. Here it is looking better, but to me, we are not positive right now because I want price to be above that white moving average. Then it is positive to me. So that is still negative, but looking better. That is MACD, and the MACD is still negative, but the last one is probably positive, very slightly positive. So, and this one could cross soon. So you have two that could turn positive very soon, and then the third one will turn positive too. But for now, MACD is still negative on the weekly, which is negative. But it was negative for a long time, so it could end anytime soon. Here we have a stochastic, and it is positive on the last indicator. This one is still negative, and the first one is looking better, but we have to see. I want it to rise again, start rising like here for the wave 3 that I'm looking for. Here we have one indicator. I don't know how I don't remember how it's divergence indicator. And you had a very negative phase here, and now it's positive. If that moving average starts pointing up, it would be positive, but for now it is negative. So positive to me is that it is green, but it's negative that the moving average is still pointing down. Candlesticks, you have a bullish harami, and that's positive, which is great. Here we are below the middle Bollinger Band, which is negative. Would be nice if we can manage to get above it, which would be positive. Here you have an indication to go long, that is which is positive, and the other indicators are still negative. Here we are negative. We have two now negative, and in order for us to be positive, we must be right now about 30K, and that will not likely happen tomorrow. I mean, there could be a Christmas, but not 13K. So you are still negative here, and that will be the case for quite some time. The first one, the fractal, we have no white point down here. So I'm still waiting for that, but 6,425 could hold, and the other indicator is negative. It's the OXO indicator, which is negative. It hasn't turned positive for now. First indicator is negative, second indicator is still negative, third indicator is looking better. and third indicator is also looking better. I hope price will keep rising from here on. Here, first indicator, we are still positive. Second indicator, we are positive. And third indicator, it's neutral. It is not negative or not positive, but it could be negative soon if we stop, if we keep dropping, which would not be good. But the other two are positive, so let's go with that. Here, trend is up, which is positive, and this indicator is still negative, but very slightly. First indicator is negative, second, no, first indicator is positive, second negative, third negative, fourth is positive, and fifth, last indicator is negative, but very slightly. First indicator is looking quite negative. Second indicator is quite low. It's an RSE. So the RSE is quite low. It's over. Well, it actually did not go oversold. It only went oversold at the bottom of the last bear market, which would have been a great moment to buy. But now it is still low and still pointing down, which is negative. And this one is also an RSI, which is negative. You clearly see it since it's red. Here you are red too. Well, in a bull market, when you have the red cross, you should go long. If that is a bull market, and I think it is, so you had already some indication to go long here, and now you have one more here. So I'll hope that that is all this correction gives us, and that price from here on will be rising. And the last one is a thermometer. No, I don't exactly know what it is. Looks like something with volume, and it's quite low right now. Here we are negative on the first indicator, we are negative in second, third is negative, and last one could be positive. Here the first indicator is negative, second one is still negative, and for negative now for a very long period of time. Third one is negative, fourth one is positive, which is nice. Hope it stays that way, and the last one is still negative. Here we are below that red moving average, and that's not great, but we are still in a bullish posture since the greens are above the red. However, here you had a death cross, and if price does not manage to pick up, you will get some more death crosses, which will be negative. First one is negative, second one is negative, third one is negative, and last one is very low. You could say quite negative. I hope that price from here on will be picking up, and that we get above 100. Now we are very close to 0. Here we are positive, and the second one is negative regarding those ADX. First indicator is quite low. Best moment to buy was here, and now you're picking up. Here was also a good moment to buy. It's now picking up, but I want us to be above 0, which would be positive. Here we are positive. Here we're still negative, and the last one is very low, which is quite alarming. We should be picking up. Well, it's not alarming. It's just that it says that the correction could be over, and that you can hope for an uptrend right now. First indicator is negative, second one is looking better because you have the greens one, and every time you get the green candles, price starts picking up. Here it did, here it did, here it did. So when it's green, price starts to pick up, so that's good and positive. Second one is negative, third one is negative, and last one is negative. Here we are both on all 3 indicators, we're still negative. First indicator is negative, second, third, and last one no data, so I can't tell you. This is not looking good at all, and also quite alarming, because in a bull market you nearly never get those red indication below the candle. You get the O, not the U below. You get that and only that. The O's higher. Now we are below the O's. We had an indication here too short, and now we have one more indication too short, and we have the red O's below. We had a lot of them in a row, which is not good, and we are even lower than the green Ichimoku cloud, which is also negative. So this one is still entirely negative looking, and not good at all, because I don't like having that much bearish candles one after the next. Those candles quite destroyed market structure. So I thought that we could start wave 3 already here with that candle. So I'm quite surprised that we went even one leg lower. Anyways, that's the case. This correction is deep and long and steep. There's nothing I can do about that, and complex. But it's not looking good. And it's different from last two bull markets, since you never had that much bearish candles in a bull market during the last two bull markets. Here we are still negative, and we had a lot of negative candles one after the another. All that red stuff is actually very negative. Here I thought that it could be over and that we could rise again, but then we went even lower. Here we are negative, and that's not good. Here we well, this one looks quite nice. It gave you perfectly the bottom and told you to go long here. And now we start rising. I don't expect us to touch 4,474. I can put a line in the sand for you if you would like me to do that, so that you clearly understand what I'm talking about. I don't expect us to touch this level again as we did here. So I'm expecting price to rise from here on. Here we are negative. People are much less bearish, actually. They start to be much more positive. And that's not as good, because as long as they were very bearish, it told you to go long. Now that they're not, now they're neutral. But if they go into positive founding rates, then it would be, you should be a contrarian, and it would tell you to go long. Now you're neutral. Here it gave you perfectly the top, but it has not given you the bottom for now. It gave you perfectly the bottom here. So I would like to have that dot here, but I don't. As I told you, the purple points never get taken out. They never were taken out during the last bear and bull markets. As you can see, and the purple dots will never, this one, none of them was ever taken out. Price never went below the purple line. Never, 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 never. Even here in that correction, we went close to it, but we did not go below it. So I expect us, I'll put a line in the sand again for you. I expect us not to go lower than 3,382, worst case scenario. If we do, it would be catastrophic, but really catastrophic. It would, I mean, it has nothing to do with Bitcoin as we know it. This is negative, but the current candle should have taken it out and we should be positive. I don't know why we don't have a green cross below it. The indicator seems not to be working. Here we are still negative, and that's actually bearish. In a bull market, you get normally very low sell signal, very low bearish momentum. So this is again quite surprising that we are. When this went bearish, I thought it would be done very soon. I thought it would be done in a couple of candles. So I'm very surprised to see that we spent that much time under that sell signal. It wasn't the case in the last bull market. So this is again surprising to me. Here we were positive a short time ago, but now we are negative since we are below the middle band. Here we have an open gap which should be closed. So it says delayed, so I can tell you if it's working or not. But we should go below 7,230. And I would be quite interested to know if that is higher or lower than the wave count. Yeah, it's still higher. So we can easily go there. So we can easily close the gap and then rise without putting any pressure on the market, without destroying the market structure. My favorite wave count. So we can go to 7,230 and then rise again without any problem. Here we are negative, and the second one is -2. As you can see, every time we have the halvening price, a real bull market starts, then you get a bear market, and then again a bull market. The short indication tells you that the bear market has started. The long indication tells you that the bull market has started. The first part of the bull market price does not rise that much, but after the halvening, it rises drastically. So here again, we have an indication to go long. The price could be only slightly rising until the halvening, until May next year, and then rise dramatically. So since this is wave 3 to me, wave 3 could be not the extended one, but wave 5. But that being said, wave 3 still must be higher, longer than wave 1. So that should be still be immense, because wave 1 was huge. So according to that, I think that we could actually be at the end of wave 3 at all-time highs, and then go even higher for wave 5. Here we are negative on all indicators. Here you did have an indication to go long. That is great. And the other one, this one is quite low. And here you were quite close, which is an indication also to go long. But the second indicator is not working too fine. Should be fine-tuned. I don't know. I tried it, but it didn't work. Anyways, it does not matter. First one tells you to go long, and that the risk is quite low. And the last one is low, which is also good to go long. Here we are negative. We have some moving averages holding the price up, but not too much. And here you had some golden crosses. You still didn't get the death crosses. This I don't like. I don't like that we are that deep into that cloud. That normally does not happen in a bull market. So that is new. Bitcoin did not behave in that manner in the past. We should be over 10K according to this indicator. Here you have a trend line that I especially like, and for now it holds the price up, which is great. Let's hope that will be the case in the future too. However, we are under that trend line, and that trend line is resistance right now. Once we will be above it again, it will be support. And then you have the last trend line, the one pointing down, which will be resistant just as it was here and here. But I'm quite optimistic that we can manage both of them and get above them. So I would like to see the price above 10K soon. Here we are still negative. Would be nice if we get higher than the middle Bollinger Band. Then I'm not sure that it's a Bollinger Band, but the middle band, and then we would go with be positive. This one is looking positive, and normally the blue line will not be taken out, so that keeps rising, and price should not be taken out. And we should be above that descending red line soon. Here we had two indications to go long, and since we are above the blue line, it is positive. Here you have some support, but you are below a lot of moving averages. So I would like price to be above 8.3K very soon to be confident that the wave 3 has started. Here we are negative because we are below that moving average, and that's quite unusual in a bull market. We can take a look, but I don't think it happened last time. No, it did not during the last bull market, and before that, it never happened. We never went below. So it is unusual for Bitcoin to go below that green line in a bull market. I think we are tremendously oversold, and I expect us extremely soon, in no time, to be above 7,868. Here we have support with the blue moving average, and we should take the other one out very soon. First one is negative, second one is looking a little better than in the past, so it could be still rising. Third one is still positive, but you are low. And last one, volatility is low. Here, first one, you're negative, second one, negative, third one, negative. Here we are below the middle Bollinger Band, which is negative. I don't think it's a Bollinger Band, but you get what I mean. Here we are also negative. This one is still positive, I would say, because it's pointing up. It didn't turn down for now, but we are much below it, so it should be turning down soon, which would be negative. And also we are below it, which is unusual in a bull market. As you can see, in last bull market, well, we were below here for a period of time, but then managed to go above it. Here we were below and then managed to go above it and then keep above it. But anyways, even when we went below it, we did not go as much below. So now we are a lot below it, which is quite alarming. Here we are below it and a lot too. I hope that we manage to get above it very soon. Okay, so now you have one great indication to go long according to this. Afterwards, you should get some green candle and price should be rising. Here we are still positive and above that moving average, which is also positive. First indicator is negative, second one is not giving us a green, so it's not positive, but it's not negative. It already gave you green here. And right now we are not having a green. But anyways, first one is negative. I hope that we will be positive very soon. Here we are negative because below that middle band, and here we are very low, quite negative. I want us to be above in that line and then have price rising. Here we're still negative. Here we're very low, negative too. Here we are also very low and negative. first one is looking better, it's getting green, which is positive, but we are not higher than that moving average, which is still negative. The second one looks to me as if price could be rising, and that could have been the bottom. And the last one is positive. Here we are negative on the first one. We are neutral on the next one, and we are positive on the last one. It's an RSE. Tether is not dropping as it did here. So that is reassuring. As long as Tether is not dropping, I expect price not to fall drastically. I'm not expecting the same thing to happen as here, that it happens right now, because the amount of Tether in circulation stays the same. If you look at the crypto fear index, let's refresh it. We are still in fear territory, which is an indication to go long in bull markets. Google trends, Bitcoin is not high. So there we have plenty of time to go high, but right now the interest in Bitcoin is not picking up according to this. And that's my disclaimer. So thanks a lot for those of you who went through that entire long TA, a deep look into Bitcoin. I hope it helped and that you'll pass a happy Christmas. See you soon.